Yo, welcome to Talking Hogs. It's the show that is again on Zoom because it was my anniversary and Aaron was out of town. And Daniel was sucking dick on the side.
Yo,
I-75
yo, yo.
South. Man, what if we just talk like this the entire show, man?
My whole show, man.
Fuck that. Not my pod.
So Aaron is working out. He's bringing that one back for the Zoom. He was lifting what looked like to be two 5 CD changer stereos from 2004.
Yeah. You got it.
Well,
Good.
Varen's going to cover one fetish category. I'm going to go ahead and get mukbang out the way and eat these hot dogs.
Yeah, the noisiest podcast of all time has returned. We hope all you guys are doing well outside in the living world. Oh, fuck yeah. So where should we begin? Boys, how was the week?
Last week
Good,
was
good,
all right.
as Aaron fucking good.
We went and saw some friends out of town we haven't seen in a while, and I think gave me something I'm probably going to see if you want, Dan. Some terribly rancid coffee by Bones Company, which I don't know if they're really good or not, but it's a cotton candy coffee.
Nope.
It's almost as good as you'd think it would be. It's like, you know how when you get that light mix of tobacco leaf in blunt wraps with that smell and flavor, it's like a cotton candy blunt wrap, both in taste and smell.
Oh God, no! Why in the hell would you? Why would you make that coffee? That seems irresponsible.
Right. What about the anniversary? That's the big doggy. How'd she go?
So well, let's just say it was good. We had a good time. We her work schedule was a little bit conflicting since she got this newer job, so it was kind of hard for her to put in time off with her being the new person. So we were thinking about Chattanooga, but we're so close to Chattanooga that was like, well, we can kind of do that anytime. So we decided to go on to bougie ass Blue Ridge for the day. And I haven't been to Blue Ridge in 10 fucking years. And I had not seen, like, I was not expecting to see what I ended up seeing in what my family refers to as the old family place. It is not at all what it was that I remembered as a young man, because it is fucking boomed out. It is straight up country gentrified up there now.
Oh yeah, the bougiest.
Yeah, you
There
bring
was
enough
like
old money to a place, they end up changing. That money change them. It's like they have things other than just cabins and woods now.
Yeah, I mean that whole downtown area, I was just like, this is actually pretty fucking cool. There was like two record stores, there was a pinball arcade restaurant, there was two or three breweries, barbecue restaurants. We went to this place called Whiskey and Water, which was this super bougie like whiskey bar, fancy pants restaurant. Which you boys always looking for a deal. I told the missus, I said, hey, get whatever you want. And meanwhile, I'm looking at like what can I get that's going to be the most cost effective. And they had on Sundays they had a prime rib with a garlic mashed potatoes. Do that prime rib? Oh, child, it was decadent. That fat was rendered beautifully. It melted in your fucking mouth.
I'm a
So good.
big prime rib fan. I got a couple of questions there. Do you boys prefer your prime rib seared on the outside, or just that good raw pinky meat shining through?
This was seared on the outside and just heavily seasoned with just herbs. And good God, dude, there was such a crunch on the outside of it, and then just this melty inside. Lord help. It was that's the way I prefer, that's the way I'll have it.
Was it bone in?
No,
Not on the primer, right?
no.
Why not?
Well, I was going
Bone
to ask,
costs
is it like
extra.
prime ribs traditionally boneless, right? And if you want the bone, you go with the ribeye, possibly the porterhouse, the tomahawk, and that kind of shit. I've never seen a prime rib with a bone in.
The tomahawk is a cut of
like it all
prime rib.
includes it. Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh, you looking it up?
Yup. No, I know I'm right. I'm not trying to throw shade,
I'm right.
But I know that I am.
While he looks that up, Jessica got some fish tacos. They were good, you know. But then she got this cocktail. Like what they do there is they follow the literal like recipes from when the drink was created. So she had some like mixed drink that was crafted in like 1923, and it like the recipe they haven't changed how it was written down in the bartender books from the early 1900s, which was cool. And my God, they like to get drunk back then. Jesus, this small little drink, you could just take a sip of it, and you're like, oh my God. Had like rum and fucking some kind of brandy in it. It was wild as shit. Very good though.
Do you remember the name of it?
It was a Hotel California. No, it was Hotel like Nova Miami, some kind of Cuban mixed drink. Oh, Aaron's on his dick sucking machine.
Why? That ain't no way to suck a dick, boy. Well, no, it just makes eating this hot dog all the more difficult.
But so we did that. It's very good food. Oh, they gave us a free piece of cheesecake for it being our anniversary, and the cheesecake was gratuitous and delightful. Then we went to the little shops. We went to the record store. Okay, so here we go. Going to the record store. It was called like fucking Frogtown Records or some dumb shit like that. And it's this woman, she's got two teeth in her fucking head, and I'm pretty sure she was just hitting a joint in the back alley with the door open. And she like puts her head back in. She's like, "Y'all let me know if y'all need any help now. Y'all like records?" And we're like, "Yeah."
Oh, I've been there. That place is dope as fucking. Yeah, that's absolutely what she's doing. I've been there a few times.
Yeah,
That's what they're doing.
she funny. She made me think of you, Daniel. I was like, man, this makes me think of Daniel.
I used to go there all the time. Those people are great as fuck.
She was like, and she asked me this, dude. She goes, "You like being turned on to new music?" And I was like, "Oh my God, this chick is so of her time. It's fucking rad to be turned on to new music." And I was like, "Yeah, what you got?" And she goes, "This is a local band from Fannin County called called Hush Money." And that's a free plug for those guys. But it was God bless them. It was some real standard fare. Like we listen to 70s rock and 70s rock only. Nothing wrong with that, but wasn't super great.
It reminds me of like, have you heard who's that kind of Aunt Betty? Have you heard of Aunt Betty? Is it like them?
No, I haven't heard of Aunt Betty. I have an Aunt Betty, but I haven't
I
heard
think
of
I've
Aunt
mentioned
Betty.
this on the pod before, but like Aunt Betty is like a
Goddamn.
more 80s kind of cover band. And the thing I've mentioned before is like the dude that's the lead singer is way too fucking obvious and corny about him trying to pull tail while he's out and about. Like he never wears a shirt that isn't a sexual innuendo. Like it's got the Honda H sign on it, but it just says horny.
Okay. Dude, he's just
It's
trying to
bad.
bust. He's trying to get one in, son. Oh, Daniel's cats took over.
Hey
Or
there,
maybe
sweet
Daniel has
tater.
anamorphed.
I have
Now see here, I know prime rib come with bone, like it all come with bone, but I'm not used to seeing the bougie serve bone in. We ain't get that at the Outback, boy.
No, I know they don't serve that at the Applebee's. I'm afraid.
Oh God, an Applebee steak, gross.
Oh, I know. Can you imagine?
Kill me now, God. Let's see. I took some notes. Let's see. Fudge. That was the next note.
How
We
you
got
feel about fudge?
Well, we got three different kinds, and my dumbass, I was just being like the husband with the card. Like, here you go, just whatever you want. And she's like, well, let's get fudge for the kids and we'll get a little piece for ourselves. I'm like, okay. And it was like 4 squares of fudge and it was $22 and I die on the inside. But Lord, I mean it is good fudge.
You stop at that
Oh,
one right there on that backside street near the cabin rental place.
Yep.
Sells the beef jerky in there too.
Yep. Three Sisters
talking
Fudge.
I
about
know that.
cookies.
And but yeah, just I wasn't expecting it. So friends of the show, so my entire mother side of the family, they're all from Blue Ridge, and I haven't been there, like I said, in probably about 10 years. And last time I went, it was still just the fucking Piggly Wiggly and the Hardee's in LJ. And to see what it's transformed into is truly just the culmination of old white people money just turning into some amorphous creature that is now downtown Blue Ridge. But you know what? All things considered, my grandpa, even though he's not dead, he's turning over in his pre-grave, and I'm pretty sure I heard him say he'll never go back. But it's kind of cool. It's actually kind of a cool little spot now. I
There
wouldn't
used to be
mind.
a great pizza joint down there, and it ain't there no more, and that upset me. And then there's that lackluster Cajun place down there, Blawlands. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff on that strip that's pretty good. I've been to that little podunk bar down there on the bottom side, like I don't know what's called, the Blue Hole or something, on the front strip on Main Street down there in the bottom. It's a real classy joint. You want tater tots? They have
Boy,
them.
they got him.
Boy, do they
We
have
went
them.
to a kind of. I never go to Blue Ridge. I don't have any plans. But like when Dan had a karate tournament there, and the crew shacked up and went to visit him, they had like a decent what was it, like restaurant in that downtown area where everything's at. I can't remember what I got, but I mean it was nice. They had a decent beer. They had a nice little candy store. At least something else to do there.
Yeah, no, I went to we had time to visit, like I had to pee and poop super bad. So the only place that would allow me inside without having to wait for something for a second with a bathroom was this brewery. So I went in there, tried, and it gave me a reason to like buy a beer. So I just went in there, pee, pooped, came out, ordered their trackside lager, which was fine. And Jessica got, I mean, it was beer brand beer, you know.
Yeah.
And Jessica got some kind of strawberry shortcake IPA thing. It was actually really interesting, but pretty good.
Those are
Um,
interesting. Those new cakey pastry beers is what I think they flag them as. It's like they've got like dried like milk sugars and lactose powders involved. It's real hit or miss for me, but some of it's good.
yeah. And on that note, that brings us to our first game called She Gone Bougie. Look at them
Yeah.
tits. She's gone bougie. Hanging at the Ritz. She's gone bougie. There she come.
Now she come.
So how this game is going to work is I'm going to give you a traditional redneck thing, and you're going to zhuzh it up. Okay?
All right.
Starting off, ring in with a good old fashioned rebel bust, y'all. Start off with chewing tobacco.
What are we doing with it?
You're bougieing it up. She gone bougie.
Don't get it in my heritage, not hate.
Ah, there you go. There she come, Daniel.
What was the category again? I was too focused on my ring in.
Chewing tobacco.
Oh, chewing tobacco. Instead of chewing tobacco, let's just get some gold leaf and just pull us a chaw with some just leafy thin gold and stick it in our gums. It'll cut you up the same.
You gotta love
That's
it.
perfect. Yeah, you put that gold leaf on it and they'll buy it. They don't fucking care.
You got anything to add to that, Aaron, or are you just gonna fucking piggyback off Daniel's answer, you lazy fucker?
Yeah. How about we melt it down and we put it in a wine snifter? That way they can roll it around, really get those chewing tobacco tannins going,
Oh
and
yeah.
get the full body.
Look at the
Speaking of that,
legs.
the last
on
place
this.
we did go to, by the way, was the Blue Ridge Olive Oil Company, and I
I
was
love that
amazed.
joint.
I
I love
was
that joint.
amazed. I was
Love that
completely
place.
amazed. I bought that was the place where I was like, take my money.
Yeah,
Um
same.
I got a bottle of Tuscan herb. olive oil for cooking and for dipping. And then I
Really?
also got their organic chatuli or whatever. But anyways, it's just olive oil that you shoot
Yeah.
for blood pressure and inflammation. So I was like, oh, I could definitely use this. So I
Damn,
take
that's
a fucking
Italian.
damn Italian. And I took a little
I,
shoot ski of that last night. And let me tell you, it's tastes pretty good. It's got a little bit of a kick to it. It gets stuck in your throat. You gotta shoot it down with some water. But I like the idea of drinking olive oil for health.
Yeah,
I
I dig it.
last time I was there, I got some of their toasted sesame oil, and it was probably some of the best sesame oil I've ever had.
Yeah, I was super into it. I was surprised how fucking into the oil store I was. That's like, goddamn, I'm getting old, dude. This is so sick.
I feel you, dude. I'm the same way.
I know I like the idea of making my own too, getting your own little simple. Not even if you just have a bottle, you throw oil in it and chuck whatever shit you want infused in there with it, and let it sit. But I ain't got the time or the space for bottle after bottle, so I'll just buy somebody else's if they got something fun.
Hey, dude. And brother, that's called the economy.
Yep, can't
And
afford it.
that's called economy, brother. Next up, we've got cousin fucking. Bouge it up.
Ooh, well, okay.
Mm.
So
All right.
let's just let's stick directly with it. Let's just give them like for moving forward, country folks learn from royalty. Just start adding Roman numerals to the end of your name. So you're the first, second, and third. That way they feel better about it. And tell them that this is, name that it's like it's not your nephew, it's your duke. It's not your cousin. It's a baron, or baroness. Just fancy up the wording, and it feels better. It's been done throughout history. Don't worry.
It's actually a good answer. Daniel?
I guess we gotta step up cousin fucking and make it take note from our pedophilic elite that control our government and our economy, and
Yes,
just
sir.
kind of do a cousin orgy of sorts. And we could call it eyes stuck shut or eyes come shut, something to that effect.
I stuck shut. That might be the title.
I win.
Up next, we got I forget what it's actually called. Actually, I remembered it right now, but it's not as funny. Instead of calling it noodling, I was calling it catfisting. You
Ooh,
know,
that's fun.
when you catfish with your fist,
Mm-hmm. That's a noodle.
bouge it up.
Mm.
That's
Here, here I come. There you go.
There she
Um,
is, Daniel.
let's booze noodling up. Instead of noodling for catfish, we can go noodling for sunken treasure. We're gonna just stick our fists in any ambiguous hole we find in large bodies of water, and if it feels like Spanish doubloons, we're gonna pull it out and rifle it to the shore.
all right. I think I like relying on history a lot for these. If history's taught us anything, people might complain about the conditions of their kind until you give them a little bit of a taste of that upper life. So we just take the catfish, certain sections of them, and mutate them into a functioning catfish human hybrid. We give them
Okay.
certain titles, we give them land, and we pay them for their services to a degree, and we let them then catch the fish for us. So the opulent high human society gets to watch this as sport as our newly created mutant catfish human hybrid noodle their own kind out for us. Ultimately, power corrupts. So I like that.
I don't even know what you just fucking said. Cornbread.
Ooh.
What? No.
Bouge it
Okay, I
up,
mean,
dude.
there's already, I hate to break it to y'all, but there's already an answer for this that exists, and it's one of my favorite dishes in existence, and it's polenta. Y'all ever had polenta? I mean, it's bougie
Yeah,
cornbread.
it ain't bougie.
It's
Fuck
the
you.
bougier version of the cornbread. It's usually formed in like a little ramekin in a little cake, and then you serve like either I've seen it done with etouffee in like fancier Cajun restaurants where they'll take
Isn't
the
polenta cornbread if it was a soup?
no, polenta's thicker than that. It's solid. It does not. I mean, it's got more moisture to it than a cornbread. It's usually formed into a cake. It's more akin to grits. It's a lot
Okay.
closer to grits, but it's solid. Like if you were to achieve a state of matter between grits and cornbread, it would be polenta. It'd be like the plasma of cornbread.
I don't like that answer, good sir. Cornbread can stand on its own 2 feet. I'm not going to fancy cornbread up by making it something else. I'm going to let it showcase its own worth. And that's going to be by simply serving it on cake stands. That's it.
Just a three layered cornbread cake, but it's just three
Stack it
layers of
high.
cornbread. Yeah. What's the other layer? It's the top layer is regular cornbread, middle layer is Mexican cornbread, and the bottom layer is of course crackling cornbread, which bonus points. What's crackling cornbread?
Deep fried cornbread.
Close. At least in my world,
Oh
it's
no, it's
close.
crackling cornbread. It's cornbread with pigskins in it. I'm sorry. It's been a long day.
Yeah, crackling cornbread is cornbread with chunk of pig fat in it.
That's
Mm-hmm.
something I want to see you do, Dan. I'm surprised. Like you've messed around with cake chicanery through as a vehicle with things that aren't often made into cakes before. Make it like an all cornbread cake where you have your different layers of cornbread as the layers of the cake. I want you to add some oil to the crumbled up cornbread to make a cornbread icing on the outside, deep fry some cornbread to add as a little sprinkle on the top.
You're not going deep enough. You got to think bigger. Here's the thing we do. We make the cornbread cake, two pones, which is a 1 unit measurement of cornbread. Two
Yep.
pones of cornbread. We're gonna need. I know. I'm not sure what I want to put in the middle. Probably some raw onion in the middle. Um, and then we frost it in refried beans or pinto beans to give us the pinto beans, the onion, and the cornbread together as one as cake. Finally, at last, cornbread cake.
I'm into it. And
Yeah, I like
last
it.
but not least, truck nuts.
Hmm.
Uh, we
There they
so if we're gonna bougie up truck nuts, the only good Lord, I'm gonna fall. I believe the only way that people really know how to bougie up genitalia is to cover it. We've got to give it an air of secrecy. We've got to tease the people. We can't just have truck nuts just brazenly flapping in the wind. We've got to add an auto motor vehicle testicular appendage support apparatus, something like a bra or some tidy whities around the back of those truck nuts. That way we add a little air of oh, what's that? Oh, how big are those balls really underneath there? How low do they hang?
Like a fucking cartoon bandit with a sack of money.
Yep. Which is
Okay.
ironically enough what Aaron looks like half the time.
Yes, correct. He does. he looks like he's like auditioning for a gang, but like a gang inside of a musical.
Hey everybody, I'm here to commit crime.
Yeah. So a couple answers. Instinctively, I wanted to just do nuts, where it's like truck nuts, but for your nuts, and you just wear them on the bottoms of your nuts. But when it comes to bougie truck nuts, we have to go on the same vibe. Instead of truck nuts, we need yacht nuts. We need giant sets of balls to go on the back of our pleasure cruisers.
Okay.
And if I
And that kind of ties in with the other idea I had. Just price the poor people out of it. Just make them unattainably expensive, therefore bougier. And yacht nuts would essentially do that.
Yeah, they're huge. I mean, they're 70, 80 pounds, made out of depleted uranium and meteorite material, Bluetooth accessible. Put an iPad in them somehow.
I already do 3 sets of these.
Do some more, bitch. Go on, do them.
Go on, pussy. I bet you won't. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dude, look at this huge dong Aaron's riding right now, dude.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Oh, Aaron's definitely a power bottom.
Listen, this has got to violate YouTube standards and practices somehow. I just don't know how.
If we had a big enough fan base to Photoshop shit on Aaron, that'd be the greatest thing of all time.
I was thinking about that. More than likely, it's just going to be like dozens of swole bros telling me what's wrong with my form and how I could get a more adequate workout with a different type of exercise.
Oh, it would just be 100 dudes saying that you're a bitch for using the machine, and you would just be like, "Well,
Oh, yeah.
the machine's actually convenient. I love the machine."
Who's gonna be mad at Chuck Norris's Total Gym? Like, seriously, you got beef with Chuck Norris? You got a fucking death wish?
There we go. That's who would sponsor the show, Chuck Norris.
No. I don't agree with a lot of his views and opinions. Let's not do that.
He has views. He has views and opinions.
He does. He backed a few Republican candidates in 2008, if I remember correctly. I don't think he had like a direct run for president, but he was definitely like, Chuck Norris supports Bob Evans, Republican commissioner of Fuckville. Like there was a lot of that. I believe he even like endorsed Trump a few times, if I'm not mistaken. Don't hold me to that. No one's fact checking this show. Like, whatever.
At this point, we have to sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say that's the thing about this show. We can just wildly say whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah. Chuck Norris has been a ghost for 30 years.
Might as well be.
As long as we have to kind of like pick our battles now. I think that's like, okay, maybe it's not preferable, but as long as he doesn't come out and say some shit like the Total Gym is made for men and women, period. Like, just okay, fine. You back some people. I'll deal with that.
There's only 2 genders of Total Gym.
Damn it, boy.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just someone like trying to apply for Total Gym, and it just gets to the gender part, and they just put like the third box, and then they just look at them like, "Are you not gonna pick a box?" Oh, I did pick a box. I don't think it really means anything. I mean, it's kind of up to me, right? No, we're gonna need you to pick a box now, as they slowly just put a fucking 20-pound weight on a desk. Like, you're gonna pick a box.
Looking here, Norris has supported various Republican candidates. Mike Huckabee of Huckabee fame.
Mike Huckabee next.
Mike Huckabee movie, if I remember correctly, is what he's famous for.
I heart Huckabees.
Oh, I love that. Ex-judge, let's see, Alabama State Judge, Judge Moore, Justice Roy Moore, that's his name. Alabama Senate race. Justice Roy Moore has some controversial.
Dude, talk about a reality show called Alabama Justice.
If you can wrestle this truck driven by an alligator, you get to go free.
This week on Alabama Justice, Judge Roy Moore has something to say.
Oh, fuck. That's my next episode.
Alabama Justice. The world's most extreme reality show. Alabama Justice was over 6 episodes long before immediate cancellation.
Alabama Justice brought to you by the Confederacy. We're still here somehow.
Some way. By the grace of God. Alabama Justice. Brought to you by Veterans for Trump.
Alabama Justice brought to you by Ammunition Depot. You're
kind of like the
shop.
Home Depot, but not.
You're just straight up the NRA,
right? Alabama Justice.
That made me think, like, if we're going on like a political spectrum here, popular TV judges, like, where do you think the far left and the far right is? Like, we got Judge Judy's, we got
Oh yeah.
Judge Mills Lane rip. We have what was it? Judge Steve Harvey's dipped his toes in those waters too.
God help us. Steve Harvey is not a judge. Steve Harvey has not passed the bar exam. This is irresponsible. We're not taking law seriously. You can't just let Steve Harvey be a judge because he's on the Family Feud. You can't do
One
it.
of the greatest Steve Harvey clips I've ever seen is he had these entrepreneurs on, and they had fried chicken wings, but then on the inside of the chicken wings, they had somehow been able to shove collard greens inside of it.
Oh
And
Lord.
the guys were just like, yeah, we got, this is called, it's like the Southern whatever. And he's like, yeah, we got collard greens inside this chicken leg. And Steve Harvey just does his face, his eyes wide open face, goes, boy, shut your damn mouth. He eats
We
it and he's
breaded
like,
it in
my
cornbread.
God, they done went and shoved collard greens inside a chicken wing. Does sound delightful.
So I'm saying Judge Judy far right because she's just old and got like big
They're
boomer
all far
energy.
right. Every single one of
Well,
them.
you forget Judge John Hodgman. That's your first problem.
There you go. Hey.
There's your problem there. You can do that. I mean, he's
What about
he's pretty
Judge
good.
Dredd?
Judge Dredd, he's very far right, alt right, if you will.
See, I don't know. I kind of feel like Judge Dredd is just a total centrist. Like he kills with no political remorse. He's there to extend justice. So whatever system that is at the time, that's what he's enforcing.
I'll say that Judge Dredd gives off some like big communist energies because he's good on paper, but in application he doesn't seem to follow through all that well. Because he's kind of like the Punisher is like, I only kill those who need killing, and then just kills indiscriminately. It's like there, justice. And you're like, all
Do
right, well,
you think when people talk about Blue Lives Matter, is RoboCop included in that?
no. He's mechanical, and I think he's gender neutral, and they ain't gonna have that.
What about Kindergarten Cop? Does he count?
Yeah, Kindergarten Cop, his life probably matters the most, but he does
Now,
have that
Kindergarten
inoperable
Cop's got to
tool.
be far left. If he works for the institution,
He was
that is the
far
government.
right at first, but towards the end he became left leaning because he
There
was
you
like, the
go.
kid, all the money is not going to the children's school. Where's the money?
Yeah, if he was far right, they'd be funneling money off them kids into some like low cost multi unit housing somewhere.
Who's your daddy and who does he work for?
Now that's kinky.
Now you mentioned something earlier I held on to, Casey. I wanted to ask you guys, and I'm not sure that we've talked about this before. It feels like we might have. But you mentioned getting your peas and your poops out on the go somewhere. And I've shat my way across many an institution in this great land of America. And I was wondering, like, what are some of your like top tier on the go shit locales?
Oh man, this is great now because of the new job. I'm across various locations constantly now.
Oh wait,
Shitting.
shit, we only have 2.5 minutes. If that.
We only have
Perfect.
2.5 minutes.
Nail it down.
Guys, it's up to you if we carry this on anymore, if we just cut it short this week. Should we
Let's
continue
keep
this?
going.
Run
I'm
it.
down to keep. Let's do shit locale talk on the next
After
run.
the break. We have 2 minutes to kill.
Teaser.
Coming up
dude.
after these commercials for Alabama Justice,
We have
dive
2 minutes
into-
of Alabama Justice to get through this week on Alabama Justice. Aaron, go.
2 minutes on Alabama justice. We make the rules. Guess what they are this week, this season of Alabama justice? A quick little teaser for you. They're not the same as they used to be.
Daniel, this week on Alabama Justice.
A baby stole my pickup truck and now he's running for mayor.
Let's see, for me, this week on Alabama Justice, get on the ground! Get on the fucking ground now!
That baby's gonna make the best mayor this town's ever seen.
God damn it,
Oh,
somebody
God. There's
give that
so
baby.
many scenarios. What do you mean that alligator wants dual citizenship? Not in my America.
He was born across the Florida line. Get him out of here.
God, talk about Alabama judges. God damn. All right. Let me save this and then we'll get started with part two.
We'll be
Guys,
right back.
y'all be right back with us now. You hear? Go on now. Skip. And we are back to the most professional show in the world, talking about shit. Now, Aaron, what were you asking about shitting?
It was where some of your favorite shit
Favorite
locales are across this
favorite
great
Duke
nation.
stations?
What station?
I call them Duke stations.
There we go.
Duke. Okay. Let's see. So my job requires me to go to a bunch of different locations every single day. One I am growing fond of is a church I have to go to every 2 weeks to supply them with goods. It is a very large mega church. And there's only one woman that works there during that time of operation that I go and supply them. And just a real nice, clean, quiet church bathroom. Porcelain. I mean, brother, you can't ask for a more holy moment. You don't have to worry about what you're sitting in, because you're in the house of the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, other great shit location. Um, you know, a good hotel toilet. You can't go bad. You can't go wrong with that because you don't have to worry about it.
The hotel's where it's at if you can get there. I'm on the move too. I got a bad signal in the weather outdoors today. Oh God.
What about you, Daniel? What's a great shit location?
Well, a great shit location for me, um, is my private. This is the private bathroom I have off my corner office next to my conference room. I love shitting in there. It's just, it's just mine. They're like, here you go, private bathroom. I'm like, well, now that you mention it, I do deserve it. Thank you.
So you have your own bathroom, dude?
Mm-hmm. I have my own
Wow.
bathroom right next to my office, like right off the conference room. It's just like all the things I've seen in Alabama Justice. What are you shaking your head at me for?
Because it says ladies only on it.
I know, that's how you know it's my bathroom.
Yeah, because Daniel's a little lady.
I am a little lady. That's what they call me at work. That's my nickname, little lady.
Little lady.
Hey, little lady, you sell anything there?
And then you ask him politely to stop calling you names as like your
Yeah.
eyes tear up.
Please don't laugh at me.
What about what about you, Aaron? You might be the man who has shit the most.
Perhaps, yeah. It's it's been a pretty nice well, obviously not all nice, but I've seen a good assortment. A lot of gas stations are going to treat you wrong. You want some multi-stall action if you can get it. You go to your big ones, your Bucky's, your racetracks, your QTs. That's going to be your bread and butter. But I want that unique dump stop. I'm talking something like high on mine is in our local town. If you go to the big lots, there's a nice little painted hallway. You get to walk down, put shoved in the very back corner of the joint where people are just scrambling to buy mattresses at the big lots. There's a long corridor you go into. You got some real shifty, shaky stall action going on. Some locking mechanisms that don't work, flickering lights, but it seems to be a pretty good hang. It's a nice sort of solemn, just sort of meditative shitting experience, I would say.
So even is the quality of is it just on vibes alone? Is the quality of the bathroom? How's the quality of the bathroom?
Well, I think that's got to be different for everyone. The quality of the bathroom itself, Not incredible, but not upsetting. It's just old. It needs a remodel, but who's going in there that often? Probably just the people that work at Big Lots, and I dare say Big Lots doesn't care about the people that work there and where they have to do a little stop. But I enjoyed it.
You're
It's
probably
clean.
right.
It's not like there's shit on the like walls or the floor or anything.
God, if only.
Mm.
Yeah, so
Actually,
you go ahead, Daniel.
I was gonna say, in contrast to my stellar personal bathroom, out on the floor where I keep my inventory, I have the polar opposite, which is an out of date bathroom that I'm responsible for cleaning. And that really just kind of leads it to just smelling and being the most disgusting shithole with like 4 of my coffee cups in there and just toilet paper and paper towels on the floor. One toilet on the ends had piss in it for 7, 8, 10 days. Who knows? Honestly. And I go take my awful dumps in there because I feel like the dump has to be proportionate to where you dump at. I feel like I want to take my nastiest dumps in the nastiest places. I don't want to be surrounded by floral potpourri and beautiful things when I'm just absolutely pissing out of my ass. I want to be somewhere where I like it fits the mode, like an ancient birthing chamber somewhere near a burial ground. Like I want something
Okay.
off.
I don't know. I kind of like the contrast of like a dark, bowel movement, something muddy, something violent, in direct contrast of like of a Art New Deco style. It's something about shitting on the top floor of a hotel, is
Oh,
there's something to be said about that. There's something about waking up rock hard, looking out over the town, thinking how little of a shit you give, and you go in there and you just blow it out.
It's like a second
I
story
love that.
shitter with a window.
It's like having
Oh,
like an all expenses paid vacation and then having diarrhea in the fucking islands. Aaron, it sounds like something you've done.
oh, for sure. Yeah, yeah. When I took a trip to Jamaica, there was a surprise waiting for me. Something, and I can't remember what it is now, so I'm probably doomed to repeat the process. But it was some piece of vegetation, like a flower or something, a fruit. I believe it was star shaped, but it really did a number on me. And I don't mean just like, oh my God, diabetes. It was like my my stomach is inflamed. It's like it's on fire. So I swallowed like a cartoon character, an actual fire, and it just wouldn't go away. And at the time, I'm visiting some old manor that like Johnny Cash lived in apparently for decades. That's also haunted. So I don't know what maybe that's the common thread for me. Maybe I have to shit badly when I'm near a haint. Maybe that's like my bum knee says it's gonna rain. Like my bowels say there's a spook here.
Oh,
Is that like your ghost ability? Oh, that's a good Lifetime show or like a PAX special, like Ghost
it
Guts.
it comes on after Alabama Justice.
Right after
Yeah.
Alabama, up next after Alabama Justice, Ghost Guts, the detective with the stomach for the paranormal. I
Here
love
we
it.
are at the Pensacola Lighthouse down here in Pensacola, Florida. Built in 1863, this place was the home of a dangerous, disturbing series of murders during the 1800s. With us, as always, is our ghost expert, Father Curl.
That's what we do. Is we just take Aaron to haunted places, have him shit there, and then just review it
It's me
on
and
quality of
Daniel.
bathroom, quality of
Aaron's,
shit, and quality of
yes.
haunt.
Aaron is behind us, and me and Daniel walk in first. I have like the microphone. If anyone's here today, let us know. Is there somebody with us? And Daniel's like doing some kind of witchcraft, like summoning kind of spirit, and Aaron is just kind of like bent over a rail, his head's down, and his stomach is just curdling, dude.
They'd like talk through me too. It's like, do you mean us harm?
The ectoplasm comes out of his ass. It's just like
Yeah, that's what it is. Guys, I'm full of ectoplasm. He just shits through his pants.
Here comes more ectoplasm.
What a show.
Damn, I told you. Oh
Well, you
man,
got it.
dude, there'll be an episode of like the Hog channel. We've already done the
It's
Hog, like we've
the HGTV, Hogtown TV.
yeah, but now we have to make a full-fledged like cable network of just Alabama Justice, Ghost Guts, God,
um,
the Real Housewives of Eton County.
Tin Can Mysteries. I want to say let's go with the Shoestring Potato Files, Tree Talk.
I feel like we could keep going with Ghost
Yeah.
Guts here. Just here we are in Alcatraz, one of the most haunted. And it's just Aaron. Just before we even step foot onto the island, he's just on the ship. He's just
It's like shitting on a seagull. Just.
There's an incredibly dark power here.
I feel it stir within me.
and
We
we
run some
go
meters over his butthole. It's like, my God.
at the end of the
Love-
episode. We have the guy who like runs the place. He's sitting with us. So we found some evidence that we think you might want to hear. Have a seat. And we just play back audio recordings of Aaron shooting.
Yes. It's like EVPs, but AVPs, ass
We-
voice phenomenon.
We've slowed it down and we've pitched it down.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'd watch it, honestly.
Yeah. That's fun. God, that's real fun. Right after Alabama Justice. God,
Well, it's a
Mom.
new show, so you got to lead it in with something strong to kind of get people to stick around and watch it.
Yeah. What? Okay, so here's the idea. Ghost Guts. Where can we put it? Well, we're losing. We finally lost the syndication of the old episodes of Roseanne after she said that racist shit. So we need something that goes directly after Alabama Justice in our 9:30, 10 p.m. slot.
Right, spooky time, late night slot. It's a good slot for Ghost Guts.
Now I do want that could be like before the transition though. I want like a late night slot, a la Nick at Night, but not okay, not Nick at just something after dark. And we can put the sexy shows on there. Something like like all it's all just gonna be like knockoffs. The same way they have like like Lord of the G Strings and all those shitty knockoff porn movies. We can have shitty knockoff porn shows like 30 Cock or
Penny Patrol, or
there we go.
Let's see. How about so there's 30 Cock.
Not Your Mama's House.
We're just doing NBC sitcoms, or what are we doing?
Oh, let's go wild.
Let's see. We could do two. We could either be the Gimpsons, or it could just be the Simpsons, but put simp in quotes.
The Lucy and Messy Hour.
Oh God, that's good.
Ball in the Family. Sanford and Come.
Stanford comes good. The Cutstones.
Family Splatters.
That's good. That's a good
Did
one.
I do that?
Could have
Oh,
Perfect Strangers. It could be Perfect Gapers. We could do that one.
Steve, you done went and busted all over the duvet.
Did I do that? Help, I've come and I can't get up.
It's a bad tradition in this day and age.
I feel like I'm
Come
having
on.
deja vu about this.
I think we are. I think we have said some of these things
I'm
before.
sure we've done this bit before.
It's a classic.
It's a classic.
Okay, what else is there?
God damn. Let's see. Some of them are just kind of already there. It's kind of hard to. It's like
What
Chicago
about, like-
Fired probably work on
We
its
could-
own.
We could branch off into our own adult themed music festivals. Something like a 3-day affair where we have the same kind of thing going on, but with bands like Sly and the Family Bone.
Oh,
Okay. See, I thought you were just
Drive-by
doing music
fuckers.
festivals like Boneroo.
Yeah.
Ooh.
There's let's see.
Coachella. Um, let's see. Shit, I
Dirty
don't know a lot of
Knees.
Dirty Knees is
Um,
good.
I mean, like Smash Squatch.
Yeah,
uh,
that's not bad. I was trying to figure that one out myself.
Right.
Um,
Woodcock
um,
99 with Dick Biscuit, dude.
the oh yeah, Woodcock 99. Yeah, yeah,
With
yeah,
Dick
yeah.
Biscuit, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, uh,
It's
the
an all
Cox,
'90s affair.
the Cox Spring. Uh,
What was that big tour like? What's that big metal tour I was used to fucking do and shit all the time?
you talking about
Oh yeah.
Family
Uh,
Values? Was it that
Sure,
one?
that one's already kind of porny, honestly. This day and age.
How about
Mm.
Cobb Zombie, dude?
Oh, we just do it. Okay, we're doing bands. Let's see. Mm,
What, Cobb Zombie? No one's gonna give it up for
Cobb,
Cobb
Cobb,
Zombie?
Cobb Zombie. Knob Zombie would be a little bit more sexual. I could go for a Knob Zombie.
Knob Zombie. Okay, that one's
I
okay.
don't know though. So what do you think? Like knob is I think more traditional, but I like the idea of the. I like assigning fruit and vegetable to genitalia. Like you
Dude,
want a little gobble on this cob.
Knob.
You want a little.
yeah,
Or you
man.
like
Slob on, but
We're
it's
talking
slob on my
hogs,
knob.
dude.
I mean, I
slather
Slobbing
it
the
in
get it.
hot
hog.
butter.
I get it. I get it. It's just Cobb's a bit of a reach. Not very far.
We've been
Not too far
referring
of a
to our
jump.
genitalia as our hogs for a long time now.
Hog is fine. I mean, hog is honestly the most appropriate. It's pink and fleshy and warm and
Yeah.
fat, curly little tail.
And to circle it back to our beginning, we were talking about different cuts of meat. How would you prepare your sexual hog in a succulent sexual dish? What do you think best showcases your hog in a meal?
So for me, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the hog, I'm gonna scrape it out clean, and get all the meat out of the middle. I'm gonna mince that up. I'm gonna add mirepoix to it, some thyme, some blackened spices, and then I'm gonna cook that down until the vegetables are soft. I'm gonna mix that in with some rice, a little bit of saffron, and then I'm going to take my dick skin and just kind of use it as a casing, and pump it back in boudin style. Boil it in my own piss, and then just eat it like boudin. Suck it straight out of the casing. That's what I would. That's the way I want it to go. If it's got to go down,
Daniel, as always,
Beautiful.
is truly the Iron Chef of the show, but
I feel like it's
maybe
right.
a little too much for my taste. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna
Much.
order an extra large sausage. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? I'm gonna cut a hole at the middle. You know what I'm saying, dude?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna put my penis through it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, a
And
little inception there.
we're gonna call it the big sausage pizza, right? But the thing
Ooh.
is it's gonna be scalding hot,
Oh
and
yeah.
it. I'm not gonna cut the hole. I'm just gonna ram it through it, and
Uh-huh.
talk about the unstoppable force moving, hitting the immovable object. Andre Hogan WrestleMania 3 style. I'm gonna try and suplex that pizza through my dick, and it ain't gonna work, brother. And that's a shoot, which means it's real. We need another wrestling episode. That's what we need.
We did. Oh, holy shit! Did you see? I didn't know. So Rip Iron Sheik on the
Oh
note of
yeah.
wrestling. You know, I didn't realize he was such a prolific tweeter.
Oh
His Twitter
what?
account
Oh dude,
is
it's a treat, isn't it?
it's some of the stuff of legends, man. I fucking love that shit.
He fucking hates Hogan, dude.
How much he hates Hogan's all of it. It's like, and this shit was like recent up until his death, like the past few weeks. It was like, like this Mother's Day, remember to fuck the Hulk Hogan. And he only speaks in all caps. It's so goddamn brilliant.
Only one volume the Sheik operates off. That's
I
maximum.
recommend, if you guys can find it, watch the documentary. It's not a WWE documentary. It's just like this dude followed Sheik around like maybe a decade-ish ago. And he talks like that. He's like, "I fuck you, Baba. I humble you." And he's legit. Like, he's an Iranian fucking Olympic wrestler. He will break you in half, or he would have broke you in half. Probably still could, even his dead fucking riddled corpse.
Yeah,
But yeah, he fucking hated Hogan, man. You know, Iron Sheik was the
good.
champion, and the first time Hogan was the WWF, the three W's now, that was like late 70s.
I
He
love
took
that.
it from, oh yeah, yeah, it used to be called the WWF.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's your little wrestling fact for the day. But yeah, he took it from the Iron Sheik, and there's been bullshit ever since. Because I think they were supposed to have a rematch just so she could get some of his heat back and propel him forward as a character. And Hogan was like, "No, brother, I'm not gonna." That was a big thing with Hogan is he never wanted to do rematches, and he always had to like look as strong as possible. And people would
Yeah,
be easily tricked by Hogan because it's Hogan. If you work with Hogan, you're going to get paid a fuck ton of money, but you're only going to get paid that maybe one time. There's not too many people he's worked with multiple times. It's not Andre the Giant. I mean, if you guys remember, this is the last little bit of wrestling information before I go off. But even the 90s, when Sting was fucking huge and he was going up against the NWO, they only wrestled one time. One fucking time.
I
And
remember that match. I watched that match.
exactly how big of a deal that match was. You know how much shit it took to make that match happen? Because
I can't
Hogan was
imagine.
definitely like, because Hogan didn't want to lose.
yeah.
He was one of
But he
those
was
guys.
evil.
He was one of those fucking guys. Like,
What?
someone had to tell Hogan it's fake. Someone
And
had
well,
to tell.
you look at like that throughout, like wrestling, not just wrestling histories, but like wrestlers that have gone beyond the wrestling scope and became actors and stuff to even like current. You think they'd take a note from history and be able to tell like those are the people that end up getting shit on, and you have all like the bad press surrounding. And it's kind of like now, like The Rock. I think people are. He's
Ugh.
still obviously a blockbuster hit, but people are kind of starting to see like images of him that aren't so glittery and like how he demands so much. But then somebody like because he can't take a fucking hit. He can never have anything bad happen to him. He's always got to be the hero, the strongest guy. Then you see somebody like Cena. Everybody loves working with fucking Cena, and he'll take a hit all the fucking time. He'll let you shit on him, and he's fucking great.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the key deciding. Now, are we going to see Cena in huge blockbusters like The Rock? Probably not. But what we will see, Cena will be more. He will be offered more endearing characters over time.
Can I ask a question seriously? Like, what are we calling blockbusters that The Rock has been in? I mean, Fast series at most.
Well,
At most.
apparently,
No,
even
no,
then,
nerds aside, who gives a shit about what we think about movie quality? The man has made millions and millions of fucking dollars.
yeah,
He,
like globally, everything, like he's a fucking destroyer.
I
He's
mean, he works a lot, but like as far as movies that were like big multi-million hundred, he's not been in a Marvel movie. He's not been in a. I mean, okay, Fast makes a lot of money, but he even kind of quit doing those for a while, didn't he?
well, that's the thing. I think he's trying to like mend the bridge with Vin Diesel because of like his movies
Because
aren't performing the
correct,
way.
Black Adam sucked dick.
Right?
Yeah.
But dude, think about it. Like, okay, I'm looking it up here just to check and be safe. Just a little snapshot here. Baywatch made 178 million. Skyscraper 308 million. The Journey movies like Journey 2 335 million. The list goes on and on. Rampage was shit. It made 428 fucking $1 million, my man.
Okay,
That could have
okay,
been so much
okay.
Don't
I'm
better,
not
take
dude.
any
arguing
of
that.
this
That could have
shit.
been so much fucking better because I love Rampage.
But what are the budgets on those films? Those are multi-million-dollar movies. Like, okay,
I
so
think Black Adam is the first time where the reward wasn't worth the
Right.
amount they put into it. Like, yeah, did it clear? Did it make more than what it cost? Yeah, but it should have made double that.
Yeah, yeah. And a lot of that sounds like that's where he really started to push. He's like,
Him, yeah, I love the story of The Rock putting the Terramana bar at the fucking Black Adam premiere. Like, Terramana
this is a kids movie, Rock. We gotta have
tequila.
have. Oh
And
god.
it's he better be careful, dude, because the thing about wrestling fans, we are of all kinds, we are trash. But you turn on us loyal fans, and everything else will start to fucking fizzle out. That's why I think Cena's doing good because he's always owned up, like, I know I'm the fucking good guy, blah, blah, blah. Him being Peacemaker has done a
So good.
wonderful thing for him.
Cena is a better actor than The Rock. I'll say it. And look, I'm gonna go ahead and call The Rock out on the show if he wants to come down to my Krusty and fight me. He can. Last person I called out didn't do so well. So
Oh
do
shit, that's
what you
right.
will.
Daniel's the Merchant of Death.
Do what you will. I'm just saying, like, Cena was good. Cena was one of the shining moments, even though he's like, or is it Channing Tatum that's in it for 4 seconds? Either way, in the Kingsman 2. I can't remember that
That's
movie he's
Tatum.
in. Yeah, that's Tatum. He's in it for like
Fuck.
4 seconds and he gets cryo frozen because he got a boo boo. And he was in that one movie with Tina Fey where he's the drug dealer and he's listing off all those fucking drugs that he's got.
Yeah.
Cena's genuinely funny. The Rock is not genuinely funny. People have to write funny things for The Rock to say and do. Even though in like Get Shorty he was funny, but like those are roles written for him. Cena and genuinely is
So
funny.
interesting that you say that, Daniel, because The Rock has been working with this guy, Brian Gerwitz. Okay, so Brian Gerwitz was his writer in WWF in the 90s. And so all those promos that he was doing, the ha la la la, la, all that shit, that was from Brian Gerwitz. And after he stopped wrestling, he took Brian with him. And Brian has written on almost every single movie that The Rock has ever done. So it's a very interesting connection for you to point that out.
I can just
He's
tell it doesn't come from the heart. Like it's not a genuine humor. It feels canned. It feels forced. The
well,
edges on it aren't round or
Cena
pointy.
knows that he's this huge hulking mass, and that should be funny. Like that's funny.
Yeah.
That should be funny.
And he's done a lot of side work with what, like, I'm sure I'm getting this wrong, but like College Humor and different stuff. Like, he's willing to just kind of branch out. He doesn't have to be like a mega millions dollars superhero every fucking time he graces the presence of something. I like a little bit of humility there.
And I mean, he also, of course, holds the record for the Make a Wish. Like, literally, this guy
Yeah.
has seen so many kids just fucking bamf out of existence, and I don't know how the fuck you do that. Uh, him doing that, and then the roles they had, like I said, I will forget the majority of the movies The Rock has made, but I won't forget John Cena's Peacemaker. He fucking made that.
No. Fucking
Yeah.
I mean, just a gem as Peacemaker. Far okay, that's where I draw the line. Okay. John Cena's DC character is better than The Rock's DC character,
Yes.
and they should fight or kiss or something.
Yeah.
But if you got to pick, that's why I'm going Cena because his entry into the DC universe is better. Honestly, one of the only acceptable entries in the DC universe.
Yeah.
Have you
But there-
seen
the-
the Legion of Super Pets real fast?
Oh yeah, I jerk off to that 2-3 times a day. Why do you ask?
So the ending tag scene is the Superman's doggy flying around Crypto, and then Black Adam's dogs show up, and they're all like these menacing Dobermans, and like the Dobermans are like the powers are changing and the shift is changing. It's so fucking lame. It's so corny how much The Rock was like, I'm gonna be DC. Fuck you, dude. Do you not know? Like, okay, who are you? Like, if you're not Batman in DC or barely Superman, no one really gives a shit. And John Cena is the first person, and Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman is good, but like Cena's the first person in DC to me that I'm like, oh fuck, that's awesome, that's great.
I can name one that you didn't think of.
Who?
John Constantine.
Who's John? Wait, Keanu?
Keanu Reeves playing John Constantine.
That's right. Yeah.
Good
I think that's gonna be
character
a
played
hard
by a
sell
good
for a
actor
lot of
played
people.
well. Do what?
I think it's gonna be a hard sell for a lot of people.
You don't like John Wick as John Constantine? He plays so many different Johns, man. Come on.
We got 6 minutes and 56 seconds to talk about shitty.
John Cena
You know,
some more.
so you have The Rock who's tried who may be fizzling. This might be the you know, he wants to be Black Adam. This might be the real transfer of power that he was not expecting. Hulk Hogan, he was Mr. Nanny. He was Santa with muscles. Um, he was a bunch of other, and the things, God, you know, my favorite thing is all the lies Hogan would just say. Like Hogan was like, "Yeah, dude, I was gonna be the bass player for Metallica, but I decided not to, and that's how I became a professional wrestler." And then they asked the drummer in Metallica, Lars Ulrich. He was like, "Hey, did Hogan ever audition for Metallica?" And he was like, "No, he never." And
Never
Hogan would
met
just say this stuff. He just lies.
Well, that was obvious. That was before Lars' time, you know. I mean, obviously him and Hetfield created the band, but before they met,
You know,
that's
dude, I just feel as if I could have made, you know, I was there when thrash metal was invented, brother.
and fuck
unfinished.
Hogan.
You
Fuck
know,
Hogan.
you didn't see Macho Man doing a lot of acting, and you feel like the natural progression is from wrestling to acting, and you just didn't see that on the Macho Man's list. A few cameos here and there, but it just wasn't really on
Uh,
his radar. It was all about the wrestling for old Ronnie Poffo Jr.
so we had, well, except
Randy
for
Poffo.
when he was Wrestler or whenever he was Bonesaw, which wasn't really a
Yes,
stretch for the Macho Man.
he was in that episode of King of the Hill as well, if I remember correctly.
Seth Rollins, Aaron, you might remember this wrestler,
Mhm.
but Seth Rollins is going to be Cobra in the Captain America Brave New, what was it? The New World Order.
Yeah,
He's going to be the bad guy named Cobra who apparently can hypnotize people with his Cobra voice and other things like that. I'm not familiar with the villain, but that could be something.
that's a
Probably
new
just
one
gonna
for
get his
me.
ass kicked
All right.
relatively quickly.
So what? I was wondering. You mentioned him not dipping his toes as much in there. The current like superhero wash that is everything we live and breathe. What character would Macho Man Randy Savage play well? You go DC or MCU, whatever you got. Who do you think he's got?
Man, I mean, right off the top of my head, he would have been a really good candidate for Steppenwolf. That would have been
Oh
fun.
yeah.
Okay.
I would have
You know,
enjoyed the piss out of that. Or Craven the Hunter. Like, I would have taken him as that.
yes.
Like, that would have
I was
been good.
thinking we'll eventually get Lobo, right?
Yeah. Oh, God. That's it. You nailed it. That's it. That's the correct answer. It's fucking Lobo. Like, that's it. That's it. It's
Do you
got to
know
be
Lobo,
Lobo.
Casey?
Yes, I know Lobo. I don't know a lot
Okay.
about the character, but I know what the character
Yeah.
looks like.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
almost modeled entirely off Macho Man anyway.
yeah. right.
He looks like NWO era Macho Man to begin with. So I mean, it's a real simple transition. I've already got half the costume, but he
God's
died to
rest his
save us
bone.
from our sins. So
And Macho Man's in heaven now
yeah,
with
Yeah, he
he's
is.
in
With
charge up
Miss
there.
Elizabeth and Iron Sheik and Andre the Giant and the Bushwhackers. One of
Are they
them.
both dead?
Nah, just one of them. They're both
Oh,
the same guy.
they're
Oh,
all
how about
mirrors.
that?
It's fake, dude. There's no such thing as brothers in wrestling. It's just two of the same guy.
Yeah.
Is
Oh
Fake.
that true with the
man.
Hearts? With the Heart Foundation, is it all just the same person, like Nutty Professor?
Oh shit. So
Oh,
yeah,
Brett and Natalia, same person.
you know something? When I put on this blonde wig, I pretend to be another Canadian.
Does does the Heart Foundation raise any money for like cardiovascular health? Because if they don't, they really should be.
No, they just raise money to remind
Oh,
themselves of the company they work for is the same company that killed their Uncle Owen.
it's an inside job.
Yeah.
Hey, footage of it exists somewhere. If you
And I
guys
think
want to
that's
see something depressing, and this is how we'll end it, go and search I believe it was you can probably just type in JR after Owen Hart death. Because as soon as Owen hits the ground, they wheel him out, and Vince is like, "Well, the show must go on." And there is an initial 2 minutes of JR just like looking at the camera and like, "Well, um, we've," and then just Jerry the King Lawler is just like his head is in his hands. He's like, "We're gonna star-studded event for you to come. D'Lo Brown is going up against Jeff Jarrett,
God damn.
and we'll be keeping
Vince,
Owen
you're
Hart
us.
in our prayers." And yeah, there's like blood on the fucking mat. Truly,
Speaking of prayers, you better say your prayers for this next match.
you better say your prayers and eat your vitamins with us on the Patreon. Please go and listen to our recent episode with Taryn. It's a banger. Tater mashing is the title. Tater bashing is the title. This can be patreon.com/talkinghogs. Get the hot sauce, atlburns.com, promo code hogs15, 15% 50% off at your checkout. Email us at the Gmail when you want to suck and no fuck. It's talkinghogspodcast@gmail.com. All the socials at Talking Hogs, except for Twitter. That's backwards and fuck Twitter. Guys, we love you. We'll be together in person soon. We're just going through the summer doldrums right now. You bear with us as we bear with you. And as always, I keep a hugging.
Okay.
Talking.